Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to our guitar lesson. Today we have our work cut out for us because we're going to be learning the rhythm parts to Tornado of Souls by Megadeth. This is arguably one of the greatest guitar songs and metal songs in general of all time. Of course, the song is famous for its solo, but the rhythm guitar parts are just as complex and just as amazing and intricate. It's amazing how Dave Mustaine plays these, as well as Marty Friedman, and plus Mustaine sings on top of this song. But we're gonna learn the rhythm guitar parts today. Then we're gonna learn a solo in another video. But the solo is, of course, is the Tornado of Souls solo, the greatest solo of all time, which also happens to be the hardest solo of all time to play on guitar. I'm sure there's hard. Well, there's some harder things, but it's pretty challenging, obviously. And to transcribe and teach it is a whole another animal to conquer. But if you guys do want to see that, then let me know down in the comments. But try to get this video to 50 views or 50 likes. But for now, we're gonna do the simpler stuff and the rhythm parts, and even these, they aren't that simple. And there's a lot. We have a work cut out for us, like I said, so let's get started. We have like 13 different riffs to learn or something. There's a lot of stuff going on because it's thrash metal. It's supposed to be like that. But we get started here with this little guitar intro. We start off with this B power chord here, hit it once, then we start doing these harmonics. So alright, so like what we're doing there is after you hit the B power chord, then you do the 7th fret harmonic. So basically, you're gonna take your finger and gently rest it above the string, like a little bit of the fret. So instead of getting this sound, you get this sound. So it's like you're not really letting the whole string go, and you're also not really pushing down all the way. So put it like right here between the 7th and 8th fret, right where the metal part is. Put your finger there. So you hit the low A string a few times, then you go. Then you're gonna hit the G string 7th fret harmonic, back to the low E string, then the D string. So and then you start over again. So first we start off with one hit on the power chord, then we do the harmonics. Next time we hit the power chord 3 times, and then we do the harmonics again. So you do that a few times in the intro. So alright, so then we have this riff. So next time you do that a few times, and the next time you come around to play the power chord again, instead of playing the power chord, you play this riff. So what we're doing is that's 7 on the low E string, then 7, 9, 10 on the low E string. So this is basically like a B minor blues scale riff, or it starts in B minor pentatonic and then it goes to B minor blues. So 7 on low E string, then 7, 9, 10, okay. And then what we're gonna do is do a hammer pull from 7 to 8 on the A. So and resolve it on the 10th for the low E string. So then you're gonna hit the 7th on the A string, hammer on 8 to 9. So okay, so then after that, then we have this after that. So 5 notes left. So after we do that's what we have so far, right? Then we're gonna do 7 on the D to 9 on the A. So that last part, that's pulling off from 9 to 7 on the D, and then finishing the riff on the 7th fret of the G string. So alright. So after you play that riff a few times, I think like I don't know how many times exactly, I think 2 or 3 times, then we have this. It's a transition, like, so this is the end of the intro and before the beginning of the verse. So this is a transition going on between those two parts. Alright, so that's just the 10th fret power chord off the low E string, the D D power chord. Then 2 frets down to the 8th fret on the low E string. Then we have this little legato line. Sorry. So, hammer pull from 7 to 8 on the A. Then 5 to 7, hammer pull. Then 4 to 5. Then 2nd fret by itself. Then we get into the verse, so. Alright. Then we have the verse, which sounds like this. Alright, let me turn my distortion up a little. Alright, there we go. Okay, so what we're doing is once you go down to the 2nd fret, you hit that 2nd fret, instead of just hitting it by itself, you hit this B power chord here. So this is pretty easy verse. Everything is palm muted except for this first note that you keep hearing over and over again in the verse. This is B power chord. Then you're gonna palm mute the B power chord. Then take it up 1 string to the F sharp power chord. 2nd fret on the low E string. Then move it up 1 fret to the 3rd fret power chord. Then the open string. Then do 2 and 3 again and start the riff over. So play it slowly. So that's the entire verse. It's also the second half of the pre-chorus, so we'll talk about it later. But you keep doing that, and then the pre-chorus starts where you hear this, the A power chord instead of the B power chord. You hear the A. So basically, instead of accenting this part, the B power chord, you accent the A power chord. So that starts the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus sounds like. Chorus starts. So like I said, second half of the pre-chorus is just the verse which I just played, right? So you got the second half down, then we got to learn the first half, actual pre-chorus. Like I said, instead of accenting the B power chord, I'm gonna accent the A power chord. Okay. After that, after hitting the A power chord, do a little bit of quick chugging on the E power chord right here, and hit the E power chord, then hit the F power chord, first fret on the low E string. So. Let me have this. That's 3rd fret power chord, G power chord, to the A power chord. So 3 to 5 on the low E string. That's, and after that, you're gonna slide into the C power chord, which is the 3rd fret on the A string. So from the 2nd fret, slide to the 3rd fret. Slide back down to the 2nd fret. So and start the riff over by hitting the A power chord again. So you do that twice and then you go to the verse. So alright, so you run through the verse I think twice more then. Sorry, the pre-chorus while you're playing the first part. And then the chorus starts. The chorus is much more laid back, and the rhythm is much more easier than the pre-chorus, because the pre-chorus it's not that the chords are hard, it's just that the rhythm to get down is very hard, and you'll probably find that, like as I also did, because it's one thing you can play yourself, but to actually play along with the recording and make it sound like that, it's completely different. I don't know how he sings, like I said, I don't know how he sings, how he plays this. It's insane. But chorus much easier, sounds like this. So that's the chorus. So like I said, much easier rhythms, a little bit slowed down, a little bit more easier to hear and stuff. So we start off by hitting this B power chord right here again, like we did before. Second fret of the A string. Let me do a quick upstroke, muted, like percussive hit, like a muted thing. Then you're gonna hit the second fret and then the third fret power chord on the low E string. So let me have this thing. So that's 0 2 on this is all on the low E string. 0 2 heavily palmed as you can hear in the recording. 0 2, then 3 3 2 0. Then we're gonna hit this E power chord after the little lick. I can't speak. So after you hit the E power chord, we're gonna do this. So hit the third fret power chord on the low E string. Hit it the first time. The second time you hit it, slide down to the second fret. So, alright. Then we hit the fifth fret power chord on the A string. This is a D power chord. And then we go back to the B power chord to start the riff over again. So. And then when the chorus ends and it goes back to the verse, it does a little lick right here. So if you play close attention at the very end of the chorus, you'll be able to hear it. It's kind of hard to hear because it's so quick. Like that. So what's going on is there's slide from 4 to 5 on the A, then play 4. And the open A string, back to 1 on the A. So that's the entire chorus. And then after that, the second verse happens, which is the same as the first verse. Second pre-chorus happens, same as the first pre-chorus. Second chorus happens, same as the first pre-chorus. Then we get into the new part, which is the bridge. So that's a bit more laid back. It sounds a little bit more laid back, but the drums are actually doing a lot of work here. But of course we're not playing the drums, but still, the guitar rhythm is a little bit hard to get down because there's a lot of percussive hits going on. But I'll show you the basic chords, and then you can add the feel and stuff to it. So it sounds like this. The drum fill that happens right after that. So what we're doing here is, like I said, very rhythm based. It's you have to just listen to the recording, get into your veins, in your brains, and just play. Because the chords are pretty simple, just rhythm. So it's the second fret power chord on the A string, then pause. Then you're gonna hit the second fret and third fret on the low E string. These are all power chords, by the way. So then do that same thing again. And this time we're going to end it off with this. So 5th fret power chord on the A, then back to the 2nd fret on the A, which starts the thing over again. So first part. So I do that all again. But then the second time, instead of going 5 2 on the A, you hit the 5th fret power chord, and then you go to an A power chord here. So that's the change that you hear. It's pretty easy to hear in the bridge. So it's the A power chord, then you go E power chord to F power chord. So alright, so we have that so far. So now after we get that, then we do that again. So we just add this, right? So from this to this, and then we do that again. A, E, F. Okay, and then we go. So for let me just play it again. So that's a new part, right? That's 3 to 2 on the A. And then we do the first part again, which was B, F sharp, G. And we repeat that thing again, and then at the end, where you go 5 to 2 on the A, you just end it there. So that's the end of the bridge, right? And then, okay, let's see what's next. Then the drum fill happens, and then we go into verse 4, which is and then he starts singing over that somehow. Don't ask me how he does that. He starts singing over it, and then we go into verse 5. So verse 5 is made up of like this. This sort of harmony guitar part going on, so it's a little bit hard to hear the individual notes that both parts are playing because it's so harmonized in the production and everything. But the lower part is played by Dave Mustaine, this part, and then this higher part is played by Marty Friedman. So lower part, that's 7/7 on the low E string, then 5 on the A, back to 7 on the low E string, and 7/5/7 on the A, 2/7 from the low E string. And he does like a variation. So instead of going 7 to 5, he goes 7 to 7 on the A. That's the only difference. And the higher part is played by Marty Friedman, so that's the 5th fret twice on the A, 4th fret on the D, back to 5th fret on the A, then 4/5/4 on the D, back to the 5th fret on the A, and the second variation is he goes to the 5th fret on the D as a second note instead of the 4th fret on the D. So that's the only difference. So you don't have to make it exactly like the recording, because it's really, it's just like they're just playing around with 3 notes. And if I told you all the notes, just like it would be like learning a pentatonic solo. Just like I would say like 7/5/5/7 7/5/5/7. You can't. There's no way you can learn it like that. There's no way it learns like that. You have to listen to the solo, or this is not a solo, but listen to the parts and just have it engraved into your brain, your sound, and just the sound of it. Just play with the feel and the flow. You know, if you play with your band or by yourself or with the recording, whatever. Just the point is, when you're playing, you just play with the feel, and just, you know, it's hard to get these things down note for note. So just play with the rhythm, and, you know, just get it down in your hands and head. into the solo. So of course we're not going to learn a solo right now, but the rhythm for the solo we can cover that. So the rhythm sounds like this. So the rhythm, very simple. It sounds like this. It's very just, just non-stop, just downstrokes, 16 notes, da 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 da. Very like, kind of like punky almost, punk rock. You start off with the 7th fret power chord on the low E string, B power chord. Slide down to the 3rd fret on the low E string. This is a G power chord now. Then the E power chord, the F sharp power chord, and this is where the rhythms change a little bit. So right now we're holding the 7th fret for a whole measure, and you hold the 3rd fret for a whole measure, and you hold the E power chord also for a whole measure. Of the 2nd fret power chord, the F sharp, you only hold this for half a measure, then you go. So then you go up to the 5th fret, and then you quickly just go a little chromatic line. So you just go 5, 6, 7 on the low E string. So here's how it all sounds all together. Alright? Okay, so that's the rhythm for the solo, and after the solo we go into this next sort of second bridge almost. Sorry, I said 5th verse before. That was not the 5th verse, that was just like a harmony guitar part. I just realized that. But this is like sort of a second bridge, 5th verse, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like I said, the rhythm parts are pretty crazy for the song. But when I play the riff, you'll recognize what part of the song it is. It's a riff right after the solo, okay? So that sounds like this. Alright, so last part's a little bit iffy. It doesn't really make it clear if there's an open string involved, there's sliding or a hammering on whatever, but the rest of the riff you can get down pretty exact. Probably the most fun riff to play in all the song. So that's what we start off with. So I'm playing the 2nd fret palm muted on the A string. So that's just like the thing we keep going back to. It's like kind of a pedal tone, if you know what that is. So in between, we're not hitting the 2nd fret palm muted on the A string. We're hitting these fourths. So this is 4th fret on the D and the G. Then you hit the 4th fret on the A and the D. So. Do that twice, and then you do this. So then you hit the A power chord, slide it up 2 frets. So, and then as the riff progresses, everything is the same except for the root note. So the note that we're palm muting, the note that we keep going back to, which is in this case the 2nd from the A string, that's the only note that's changing. So everything else is the same. So we start off with the 2nd from the A string, then the riff remains the same. The only difference is we start off on the 3rd fret of the low E string, then we do the open, and then at the end of the riff we go to the 2nd from the low E string, and we only play through the thing once. So now we're on the second fret of the low E string, right? So only play through it once. And then you're just gonna hit this chord right here, 4th fret on the D and the G. And then you hear this little transition thing which starts the riff over again. So that's, after you hit that chord, you just go 1, 2 on the A string. You can pick both of them, you can slide into it, or you can hammer on. Alright, so that's the second bridge, 5th verse. And then we go into the final verse, or final riff I mean, before the outro. This is the final riff before the outro, and the outro is of course the end of the song, because that's why it's called the outro. But so this final riff before the outro sounds like this. Sounds like this. So alright, so what we're doing, there's so a second fret on the A string, then the open E to second fret on the E, then do the same thing on the A string, open A to second fret on the A. So then the open D string, back to the second fret on the A. When you get back to second fret on the A, just immediately start the riff over again. So and the second time, you're gonna have to hit the D string, and then back to second one, yeah. So just a little variation. And then as we near the end of the song, instead of hitting the, focusing so much on the second fret on the A string, you'll hear him hit this note. So the rest of the riff is the same, but you would just hit 3rd fret on the A string, okay? And then the outro of the song, it's the same as the bridge, okay? So this being 2nd fret on the A string, the last chord. So that's the entire. I'll just show you. End of the song, okay? Thanks for watching. That's all the rhythm guitar parts. Took us freaking half an hour to do it. Like I said, if you want to hear the solo, let me know down in the comments. Get this video to 50 likes, 50 views, and I'll do the hardest and greatest solo of all time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.